welcome to the Midweek News on AAU TV, your trusted voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Chimai Madalademdoche.
And I am Ajiman Otredako.
In this week's headlines on higher education, Ghana patients in danger as nurses head for National Health Service in UK. And in our health, sweetener intake increased body fats.
Our Discovery story, Chance Discovery helps fight against malaria. In our sports story, World Rowing Under-19 Championships kick off in Paris. And these and many more, we will bring you details after the short break. Stay with us.
Welcome back from the break, and a resolute collaboration of diverse organizations joined together to confront the present and urgent challenge of climate change. This collective effort acknowledges the profound influence of the youth in driving meaningful and transformative action. At the forefront of this united front is the pre-ELCO Local Conference of Youth Consultation, an innovative initiative that spotlights the Ghanaian youth as trailblazers in the journey towards sustainable progress.
A united front emerges as diverse organizations unite to address the urgency of climate change, recognizing the pivotal role of youth in driving transformative action. Enter the pre-ELCO consultation, a groundbreaking initiative illuminating Ghanaian youth as the vanguard of sustainable progress. This dynamic consultation weaves a tapestry of objectives which include harmonizing youth voices, assessing progress, crafting a 5-year blueprint, and shaping Ghana's climate agenda. Opening the dialogue, Candy Dankwa from the Green Africa Youth Organization encapsulated the essence of the consultation. She emphasized the transformative potential of collaborative innovation, underscoring the blueprint's role in Ghana's National Youth Climate Change Action Plan.
A line of programs to address some of the inputs and demands young people have made in the 2 years of having ELCO in Ghana.
Ms. Priscilla Nyamiche outlined the consultation structure, with participants organized into thematic groups: biodiversity, energy, wash, climate change, and agriculture and food systems, each addressing crucial aspects of sustainable development. Enthusiastic deliberations unfolded within each group. In the biodiversity and nature-based solutions realm, ecotourism and restoration projects came alive, weaving vibrant narratives of environmental stewardship. The Energy Working Group illuminated pathways to clean energy, while climate change discussions envisioned youth climate change ambassadors advocating for change. Agriculture and food systems discussions embraced sustainable practices, while WASH dialogues strove the universal access to clean water and sanitation. Veronica Giagu of the All African Students Union concluded with a consultation with gratitude filled in the air for a day marked by the insights. This collaborative spirit propels all toward a future where Ghana's youth spearhead transformative change against climate change.
We'll come up with an action plan that will feed first into the Ghana National Youth Statement.
Still on higher education, the leader of a well-known international nursing organization says that the recruitment of nurses from economically underdeveloped countries by wealthier ones is out of control. This issue is brought up by the BBC's expose of Ghana's ailing healthcare system as a result of brain drain.
In a concerning development, the recruitment of nurses from economically disadvantaged nations by high-income countries has spiraled out of control, as stated by the head of a leading global nursing consortium. As the BBC investigation reveals, Ghana's healthcare system is grappling with a phenomenon known as the brain drain. A significant number of specialized nurses have departed the West African nation for more lucrative opportunities abroad. Notably, over 1,200 Ghanaian nurses registered in the UK in 2022. This trend is mirrored by the UK's National Health Service (NHS), which increasingly relies on nurses from non-EU countries to address staffing shortages. While formal recruitment from Ghana is prohibited, the prevalence of social media enables nurses to easily spot openings within the NHS trusts, leading to direct applications. Howard Carton of the International Council of Nurses voices his apprehension over the magnitude of this crisis. The current situation appears to be spiraling beyond control. Intense recruitment, predominantly driven by a handful of affluent countries, is draining nurses from some of the world's most vulnerable nations, which can ill afford such losses. The consequences are dire. Hospitals like the Greater Accra Regional Hospital report a staggering toll: the loss of 20 critical care nurses in 6 months, leading to a compromised patient care, extended emergency stays, and increased mortality rates. The Cape Coast Municipal Hospital echoes the struggle, witnessing the depletion of experienced nurses affecting critical services and necessitating repeated training efforts. Even smaller clinics bear the brunt of this migration, with a single nurse's departure triggering a cascading effect. Vital services like child immunization and post-surgical care are at risk, potentially leading to preventable deaths. Nurses express their aspirations to leave Ghana, lured by substantially higher earnings abroad. Petra Oforiampofo from Ghana's Nurses and Midwives Association emphasizes the need for external assistance, asserting that professional nurse shortages persist. She acknowledges the right to migration, but urges the Ghanaian government to do more to encourage retention.
So this is a sad one happening right here in Ghana, seeing that our nurses are, leaving the country to the UK.
Sure.
I mean, from the article, from the story, we realized that in 2022, about 1,200 Ghana nurses left for the UK. And even in an interview with the Greater Accra Regional Hospital head, who was Gifty Ayi, she told BBC that her intense care unit alone lost about 20 nurses to the UK as of just last month. And still on the story, you realize that a lot of nurses are saying they want to leave the country. They want to, fly and go to the UK. And then you ask yourself, why? Why do you want to leave your country and go to the UK to, further your career or do whatever you want to do?
Yeah.
Even in the video that we watched, we realized that there are a lot of patients in the hospitals, but there are not a lot of nurses to address the patients. Some of them are lying down on the benches, and then you ask yourself, where are the nurses? Why are they not being taken care of?
Sure.
So now let's talk about the economic and other factors for the migration.
Basically, this is quite disturbing, and I would just make this quick statement that the teaming rates of nurses, or let's say work immigration to other foreign countries, is just on the rapid rise. Like, it's on the rapid roll, and it's going to be worse as in year by year if we do our statistics very well. Why? Because the economy of Ghana compared to the African economy is still a struggling one.
Yes.
Struggling with regards to per capita income, struggling with inflation. And if people who are particularly in these essential services like the medical fields and are given all their time and all their best, and then at the end of the day, they complain that their salaries or their wages are still not commensurate with the standard of living that were promised them, and they still have to struggle to make ends meet and still serve their country. It's appalling.
Yeah, it's really.
And
really
anybody will want to grab any lofty opportunity out there where they can make so much money, because that's the goal of life. We're all in this race for a better living, and if you don't see the hope and it's bleak, you may want to find your way somewhere.
In a story, it was even said that sometimes when they take their salaries, it only takes them to 2 weeks. And then you ask yourself, in a month we have 4 weeks. So after the 2 weeks, what happens? What happens? Because if your salary is takes you to 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks, you really don't know what to do after. Then you ask yourself, then why are you working? Why are you struggling? Killing yourself for the work, and then you don't get to even save part of your salary for future gains.
Ironically, if this is not public, it's not like a secret. This is public knowledge. Everybody knows that it's been a struggle for these class of people within the essential services. And if you're able to extend the brackets, every essential service within Ghana is faced by this kind of challenge. And this is something that government knows about. The trade unions are aware. But what can you do? You can demonstrate all you like, but these people can demonstrate. Nurses, all within the essential services, they can demonstrate. So they are bound by law to stay committed to what they do. And these are the people that believe that if we are complaining today, and it took a BBC, it took a British institution to declare this to a country like us. So we know our predicaments, yet we were able to talk about it because we know that we're not prepared to solve it. It takes someone to let you know that you are losing your nurses to us. And even the British government had made some commitments, 15 million euros to train health personnel within Ghana, Nigeria, and Kenya. Why? Because Britain, after its departure from Europe, the European Union, the Brexit movement, realized that it has lost so much of health personnel. And for that reason, should be invested in its co-Commonwealth countries so they can now rely on them for immigrant workers. And that's how come they committed this amount of money so that train on them so well that they will be able to fit within my country. But guess what? It takes Britain to invest in your economy to train nurses
for you.
Then they will leave to the place because they've invested in them, right?
So they won't leave them in the country.
What are you doing for yourselves? I think that this is the plight of the African governor. We just fail to think on how to grow our economy. Someone goes for you, and they will take it back. It's as simple as that.
But this takes me to my next question. Ajma, what do you think is the way forward? What do you think governments can do to help solve such an issue which is happening in the health sector?
Be deliberate. Be deliberate in your development. I think that we should understand that there are some very key things that connote to every economy's growth. Education, health. The rest are also important. At least be deliberate, commit funds, and then reduce brain drain. Who sees milk and honey and then will not go for it? Who sees greener pastures and will stay within fallowed grounds? They will leave. So you need to be deliberate about your development. Be strategic. How do you attract or how do you retain your good brains or your good talent? You need to make the environment viable for them to stay and work. Can't you do that?
That's true.
African governments always know that when you have an ailment which is critical, you fly overseas for healthcare. Can't you do that here? Yes, you can, because you are failing to put things in order and grow your own economy, your own systems, infrastructure. But someone does it somewhere, and then you go and enjoy.
That's true. I'm even asking myself, so why is it that when there are critical, healthcare issues, you fly someone from Ghana to a foreign country to receive treatment, but then ask yourself, do they fly the people here to receive this treatment?
The day the air zones will be closed, they will see where they will fly them.
And one more thing, I feel like when there are high inflation, when our cost of living is high, something should be done to people's income, because you look at the system right now and then the inflation and then the money people are taking, they are not apart. They are not on the same level. So seriously, something should be done.
If you get the chance to glance in an employer's cheat book, you realize that increasing salaries when inflation occurs is a no-no.
It's a no. So that is all. And then health news is up next.
In our health news, an innovative study conducted by scientists from the University of Minnesota Medical School and School of Public Health has been published in the International Journal of Obesity and sheds fresh light on the complex link between dietary intake and cardiovascular disease risk factors. The research team thoroughly investigated people's eating patterns over a 2-decade period, paying close attention to non-nutritive sweeteners frequently included in artificial sweeteners.
Published in the International Journal of Obesity, a groundbreaking study led by researchers from University of Minnesota Medical School and School of Public Health has shed new light on the intricate relationship between dietary intake and cardiovascular disease risk factors. Spanning over 2 decades, the research team meticulously examined the dietary habits of individuals, paying particular attention to non-intrusive sweetness commonly found in artificial sweetness. The findings revealed a striking connection. Extended consumption of aspartame, saccharin, and diet beverages was closely linked to increased volumes of adipose tissue, commonly known as body fat. Intriguingly, the study found no significant association between the artificial sweetener sucralose and these measures of fat volume. The study showed that habitual, long-term intake of total and individual artificial sweetener intakes are related to greater volume of adipose tissue, commonly known as body fat, said Brian Stephen, a professor in the Department of Surgery at the U of M Medical School. The implications of the study have raised concerns about the recommendations provided by American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association, which advocates for replacement of added sugars with artificial sweeteners. In light of these findings, the researchers suggest a consideration of alternative approaches given the potential health consequences of long-term artificial sweetener consumption. As the research unfolds, the scientific community emphasizes the need for further studies to unravel the intricate connection between artificial sweetener intake and increased body fats.
Stick with us for Discovery News after the short break. We'll be right back.
Which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available easy-to-use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
You're welcome back on Discovery Stories. Scientists have made a groundbreaking finding that offers a fresh hope in the fight against malaria, one of the oldest and deadliest diseases in the world that kills 600,000 people yearly. The discovery was made by accident when a colony of mosquitoes unexpectedly stopped spreading the malaria parasite during an unrelated experiment.
A groundbreaking discovery by scientists offers new hope in the battle against malaria, one of the world's oldest and deadliest diseases, claiming the lives of 600,000 individuals annually. This chance finding occurred during an unrelated experiment when a colony of mosquitoes unexpectedly ceased transmitting the malaria parasite. The potential breakthrough emerged from researchers at a GlaxoSmithKline pharmaceutical faculty in Spain, who observed the colony's resistance. Dr. Jeanette Rodriguez, leading the program, explained that the infection rate in the mosquito started dwelling, and so by the end of the year, the mosquito would just not be infected with the malaria parasite. Subsequent investigation revealed a naturally occurring bacterial strain, cytotoxic type 1, TC1, present in the environment, preventing parasite growth within the mosquito's gut for their entire lifespan. The bacteria, TC1, secretes a molecule called heman, which curtails the early stage of malaria parasite's development. Intriguingly, heman can be ingested orally by the mosquito if mixed with sugar or absorbed through its cuticle on contact. Trials are now underway at Mosquito Spear in Burkina Faso to assess the real-world potential of heman as a tool to combat malaria. If successful, this innovative intervention would revolutionize the fight against the disease that claims the lives of over 600,000 annually. With malaria's devastating impact on children and vulnerable population, the discovery presents a promising step forward. As vaccines continue their rollout and innovative solutions emerge, the battle to end the scourge of malaria gains new momentum.
Welcome to the Sport and Entertainment segment. My name is Jemima Adeladem-Doche. In our sports news, the Paris 2024 organizers remain adamant in their aim to provide a distinct experience after taking lessons from prior water quality issues that plagued previous Olympic tournaments. Strenuous tests are being conducted with the goal of ensuring top-notch infrastructure and water purity. The World Rolling Under-19 Championship, which just started, will be a key test event for the stadium as it already hosts a number of test events.
Learning from past water quality challenges that marred previous Olympic events, Paris 2024 organizers are steadfast in their commitment to a different experience. Nestled just east of Paris, the revitalized Vers-sur-Marne Nautical Stadium is set to take center stage, playing host to the rowing, canoe, and kayak competitions for the 2024 Olympics and Paralympics. Aiming to ensure top-notch water quality and infrastructure, rigorous trials are underway. The stadium is currently undergoing a series of test events, with the recently commenced World Rowing Under-19 Championships serving as a crucial evaluation. Despite a weather-induced delay, rowers from 53 countries totaling 615 participants are seizing the opportunity to acquaint themselves with the venue ahead of Paris 2024. Athletes relish this invaluable chance to navigate the waters and gauge the stadium's readiness. These proactive measures are a testament to Paris 24's unwavering commitment to deliver an exceptional and unforgettable Olympic event. As anticipation builds and preparations intensify, Paris 2024 charts a course towards a triumphant Olympic and Paralympic journey, setting the stage for a remarkable showcase of athleticism and unity.
In our entertainment story, a remarkable achievement unfolded at the 2023 BAFTA Student Awards as Tabaye, an animated short film captured entirely in Spededi, one of South Africa's official language, emerged victorious in the animation category.
An animated short film produced completely in Sepedi, one of South Africa's 12 official languages, has won a BAFTA in the animation category of the 2023 BAFTA Student Awards. Thabai, which means this mountain in English, tells the story of a young brave girl who undertakes a long journey to a mysterious mountain in a remote part of South Africa in order to save her sick brother's life. It is not an easy feat, as the Bapedi people have told legends for years about the many people who have ventured into the big mountain and have not been seen again. This film is the varsity project of an ensemble of talented young animators, which include South Africa's very own Mogao Kekana, who pursued his master's through the prestigious Gobelin School of Animation in Paris, France, which is ranked #1 globally. Kekana is an illustrator and animator from Hillbrow in Johannesburg. His work focuses on creating proud, authentic, and relatable African characters and stories. In 2020, he worked as a storyboard artist on the first African Netflix original animated series, Super Team 4, about 4 teens who are recruited to become superheroes in their community. Kekane's portfolio includes notable works like Red Ants. It tells a thought-provoking story about South Africa's infamous private security company that evicts illegal dwellers easily identified by their red overalls.
That is all for our sports and entertainment story. Business and international is up next.
Looking for a job in higher education institution on the African continent? There is no need to go looking. The Africa Education Jobs Board will deliver available jobs to you via our platform. To start your search, visit our website. On our website, you will find variety of job postings classified by the sectors and professions they belong to. There are sections devoted to variety of career-related materials, as well as information on African countries. All information you require based on the job description and requirements are accessible on the site. If you are looking for a job in higher education on the continent, use our dedicated portal www.africa.edujobs.com. For job market updates, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AF Jobs Board.
Welcome to our business segment, and President Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe officially inaugurated a power station financed by Chinese investment, signaling a potential solution to the nation's persistent power shortage just weeks before the upcoming national elections. The newly commissioned power station, a collaborative effort with Chinese partners, hold promising prospects for mitigating Zimbabwe's energy deficit. The move underscores President Mnangagwa's commitment to addressing critical issues and fostering stability as the nation prepares to cast its vote in the upcoming elections.
Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa on Thursday inaugurated a Chinese-funded power station that he said would go a long way in easing power shortage ahead of national elections. Mnangagwa, 80, who is seeking a second presidential term on August 23rd, has been on a ribbon cutting spree as he attempts to portray himself as a go-getter and reassure voters about the state of the economy. He opened a coal mine on Monday and a clinic on Wednesday before heading to the northwestern town of Wuhan to officially launch the 600-megawatt coal-fired power plant on Thursday. Analysts expect a tense vote later this month amid a crackdown on the opposition and a disaffected population battling hyperinflation, poverty, and high unemployment. Addressing supporters at a local stadium after the opening, Mnangagwa said the new plant would be a critical enabler for development, and adding Zimbabwe was open for business. The government declared a sudden end to blackouts in July, although most people still experience daily outages lasting a couple of hours. The new power station also allowed Mnangagwa to show he still has good friends in the international arena, where Zimbabwe is largely isolated. The plant, the expansion and pre-existing station, is one of 4 energy projects undertaken with a $1.2 billion loan from China, with which Harare has tied dating back to fight for independence from Britain. In Hwangwi, he told supporters Zimbabwe would now be self-sufficient in its power needs and the government would continue to focus on growing the economy by thinking outside the box.
In our international front, a Canadian company is aiming to start production in the Pacific Ocean in 2025, but the plan comes with fierce opposition. No agreement over licenses in deep-sea mining has been made in 21 countries, having called for the process to be halted.
A Canadian venture sets its sights on a pioneering endeavor, the commencement of deep-sea mineral production by 2025. However, this audacious plan is met with vehement opposition as the world grapples with the dilemma of licensing deep-sea mining. The allure of the ocean floor lies in its polymetallic nodules, abundant repositories of nickel and copper, vital components for green technology and renewable energy. The Metals Company, a Canadian entity, aims to secure a license for mining in a portion of the Pacific Ocean, targeting potential production as early as 2025. These noodles, resembling coal chunks, dot the abyssal plain in countless numbers. They develop over eons, with metals like nickel, copper, manganese, and cobalt coalescing around particles, becoming integral to our electrified future, essential for electric vehicles, batteries, and turbines. The company has conducted explorations between Mexico and Hawaii, extracting nodules from depths of approximately 4,000 meters. If commercial mining proceeds, a tracked vehicle, roughly half the size of a house, will cleanse the nodules from the seabed, transporting them via a pipe to a surface vessel. Yet, this pursuit comes at a price. The irreplaceable deep-sea ecosystem, largely untouched until now, faces irreversible harm. Critics raise concerns about the destruction of habitats impacting unique marine life. Critics raise concerns about the destruction of habitats impacting unique marine life. The debate rages on, with the metals company acknowledging the ecological footprint yet asserting its relative sustainability compared to land-based mining practices. A recent meeting of the International Seabed Authority concluded without a consensus as 21 countries called for a halt to deep-sea mining.
Now, thank you for staying with us, and let's take a quick recap of our headlines. In our higher education story, Ghana patients in danger as nurses head for National Health Service in UK. And in our health, sweetener intake increased body fat. In our discovery for today, Chance Discovery helps fight against malaria. And in our sports segment, World Rolling Under-19 Championship kick off in Paris. Stick with us on the midweek news on AAU TV and get interactive with us on our dedicated news hub, tv.aau.org. Have a nice day and bye.